quiet. The heroes are sleeping. It's Galadon, and you're watching episode 54 of Clash of Clans Attacks. The frequent uploads continue. Please do follow on Twitter, like us on Facebook, check out our Facebook page to get updates about the clans, about our wars, and upcoming episodes. And speaking of wars, we just wrapped up our most recent clan war with Exodius 2, and I have to say that of all the clans we've ever faced, this was the first time we ever had a clan just lay down and play dead. Well, maybe they're a farming clan, they didn't care about the war, but hey, they asked for a war, they got one, at least put up somewhat of a fight. We never gave up against Quantum's Web, we never gave up against Mega, and we won't give up this time either, even though we're facing Ice Baby once again. Alright, so let's try not to think about this upcoming war. Let's take a look at some replays instead. Today's theme is Little Things Make a Big Difference. And to be more specific, most battles have pivotal moments where the battle can either be won or lost. The tide can change very quickly, and if you don't adjust, you're not ready for it, it can lead to disaster. And in this first attack, I am attacking Sad from that clan there from a recent clan war. And you'll notice the first thing I do in this attack is I go ahead and drop those Hog Riders and get rid of that mortar. And it kind of served a double purpose. It got rid of the mortar and it woke up the king and the queen, so very conveniently I was able to pull them out here to the right. And we all know what's about to happen here, so we'll go ahead and fast forward through this process. And once the king and the queen are down, I went ahead and sent in my distracting golems and wall breakers. And the problem arises here at the top. As we go to the slow motion replay, you can see that that golem I deployed towards the top is not headed where I want him to go because I didn't drop the wall breakers soon enough. Now they've broken the wall, but he's already committed to move towards that next closest defensive structure in the other enclosure. And what we end up with up there is some naked wizards, and they're going to get wiped out pretty quickly. Now the clan castle troops have deployed into this other enclosure at the bottom here, and that lightning spell not very well aimed. You'll notice when the smoke clears there's at least a couple of witches. Both of the witches are still alive, and they are going to wipe out the rest of my wizards down here at the bottom. So as the last of the wall breakers head on in and the king and the queen follow with the last golem, things have not gone real well. We rage the king to try to get rid of the rest of the clan castle troops. The queen is going to fire on those structures that should have been cleared in the beginning of the attack. What's left of my troops are close to the town hall now, but here's where Supercell could stand to work on the queen's AI just a little bit. Take a close look at what she's doing. She's firing on this wall here, and look what she's going to do when she gets through that wall. She takes half a step forward and fires on the town hall. Now you're telling me she couldn't have just taken a shift step to the left and done that. Now yes, I know she gets the job done, but come on.
A little cheese with that wine, Galadon?
So the good news is the town hall goes down, but the bad news is with all of those wizards wiped out early on in the attack, there's just no way that we're going to get 50%. We end up with 43% and 1 star. Alright, here is the next attack against Tran from Viet Top. And this starts out reasonably enough, activating the king and the queen and dragging them out to the Christmas tree on the far right here. And again, we will skip the formalities of getting the king and the queen out of the way. And as we start the main brunt of the attack here, you see I lay down the golems, and they've kind of focused on where they want to go. But the problem is here, notice the golem on the bottom. He is going to change directions when his wall breakers fail to get through his section of the wall, and now he's bunched up with the other one. Everybody's going in the same entrance. The clan castle troops are out. Just a big mess right there. But we are starting to get stuff cleared here. The wall breakers have made another hole, and now we're going to slow it down here and look at the way I send out I know I should get that checked. But the wall breakers, as I send them in, I just send in a couple at a time. I'm watching where they're targeting, and then when those last two seem to target the wall I want them to go to, that's when I send in the rest, follow them with the king and the queen, and then rage them right as they get to that wall, hoping that they can get all the way into the town hall enclosure. And although they do, we're going to keep it in slow motion here as we watch the queen misbehave. It's really only my own fault. I didn't clear enough structures down there to the left, so she decides that those are going to be closer for her rather than where the town hall was. And I probably should have waited just a little bit longer to send them in, maybe done a little bit more like Takanohana does. He'll send in his wall breakers and rage them, and then wait several seconds before he follows with the king and the queen. But like I always say, I'm about the 5th best attacker in Lost Phoenix, so I can learn a lot from these guys. I do eventually get the town hall down, and 50% is going to follow, but it wasn't a perfect attack. Got to use the last rage spell down here to get that 2nd star, but we wrap it up, and it's 8 quick trophies. And we'll move on to the next attack against Sultan UAE, and this has actually become one of my favorite bases to attack, this whole 1 enclosure, 2 enclosure thing here. Once again, we've pulled the king and the queen out, and we've grabbed the clan castle troops this time, not necessarily intentionally, that's just the way it worked out. And what ensues is quite the battle of attrition here. These witches and wizards against witches and wizards, and this goes on for a long time. That lightning spell, you'll notice, does not take out the opposing wizards, so they are still wiping out my skeletons en masse. And this just continues very, very slowly. Eventually the king goes down. I get a little nervous there, drop another wizard or two, just to make sure that we can turn the tide in our favor. And slowly but surely, eventually the clan castle troops are down, the skeletons turn on the queen, and she follows. And now we're almost a full minute into this battle. I finally get to lay down my golems and my wall breakers. And one of the keys to defeating this base, I would say, is the correct budgeting of wall breakers. If you run out of them, you're going to be in big trouble here. As you can see, I've got another enclosure towards the top there that I've got to open up. Here come 3 more wall breakers, and they are going to survive and get that one open. But the pivotal point of this attack is yet to come, as I start to send in a few more wall breakers, 1 to test where they're going, and then I follow up with 3 more. They're going to get through 1 more layer of walls to where the expo is. But what's really critical is this last group of wall breakers really needs to get through that final town hall enclosure wall. And here they come. I send in a bunch of them, drop the rage spell, and as we freeze the frame here, you can see if they didn't get through that last wall, the king and the queen are not going to be going where we need them to go, and that town hall might never get destroyed. But thankfully the opening has been made. The queen has a straight shot to the town hall there. We've frozen the inferno. And in just a few seconds, that town hall will be only a memory, and shortly thereafter, 50% will follow. Okay, in the next attack, it is a replay of me attacking Free Sky from United Turks. And this is kind of an unusual base. It doesn't quite fit any description there, but we decided to go from the top, and again, I sent in the Hog Riders first. They're very effectively taking out that outside corner mortar. Now they have also activated the queen. The king is asleep, and part of the reason you might notice that I came after the base at this angle was because the top inferno is set to single and the bottom one is set to multiple. So eventually we will get the queen taken out here, and once she is out of the way, we will begin sending in our golems from a distance here. They've got a ways to travel to get to that wall, but I send 1 at the top and then 1 out over to the right there in hopes that we can get all of those structures cleared so that the next enclosure that the king and the queen are going to head to when they finally are dropped is right for that town hall. So you can see I pretty evenly spread out the wizards, and they are very obediently following the golems in. Pretty well protected. Most of the wizards are still alive. Starting to test with wall breakers here, kind of just seeing where they're going to head, if they're going to the right area. Lightning the clan castle troops, don't get them all once again, but here comes the last set of wall breakers, and there's the rage spell, and they are successful in blowing open that town hall enclosure. But once again, I dropped the king and the queen too early, and as we look, there's 1 air defense left. And now you wouldn't think that would really change what happens here, but it was enough to distract the queen over to the left. And now instead of headed towards the town hall, that air defense caused her to go after an outside structure, and she's just going to spend the rest of her time out there being worthless. Again, however, the freeze spells, the rage spell in the middle, and the king and the surviving wizards do their jobs. They get the town hall down. They also get the 50%, while the queen can do her own thing. And that is going to wrap up this last attack of this episode. And before I go, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to all those clans that I had a chance to visit over Reset Sunday. In addition to LP5 Titan, LP6 Pegasus, and LP6 Minotaur, I also had a chance to visit Regulators Elite, Avarice Legends, GWOL, Absolution, Crucible Pride, thanks for kicking me, Victoria, the King Clan, Meow, Hidden Fortress, Donates R Us, the Bacon Cave, Reset Revolution, Fujianese, Loyalty and Pride, and Diablo COL. As always, thank you very much for subscribing, liking, and commenting. Keep those suggestions rolling in. You want some shoutouts? Let me know. Please do check out Lost Phoenix on Twitter and Facebook. And Peter $17 will be returning soon with his second installment in his series. Until then, remember to make every attack a full attack. This music is licensed through Sean Spruill's Productions. Let me know what you guys think.